We happy? Vincent? We happy?
Yeah, we happy.
Hey, welcome out there on YouTube land. Welcome back to the HEX
Welcome to the HEX Late Show.
Late Show. Here we are at the 43rd. OG, how you going, mate?
Good, mate. I'm not sure. You're cutting out on my end, so let me just get the guys in. What's going on, Blue Bum?
Hey, all good.
A Tangent. And
What's up?
where's Jexa? Where are you, mate? Are you there, Jexa? Trying to get Jexa in. Let me boot him out of the. Okay, what's happening, guys?
Well, it looks like we're about to hit all-time high.
All-time high?
Pretty close.
Hang on. Hey,
Definitely against ETH.
Okay. We need to get a chart up immediately. Tangent, can you hook me up?
I've got them. Oh, I shut them all down.
Oh, did you? I'll get one up, mate.
I'll grab them up. Because I thought we were going to be completely focused on Pulse, so I actually shut this down. But I can bring it back up.
This is really going to lead us into Pulse, isn't it? Because this pump is happening because of Pulse, and if you don't know, you should know. Pulse is a fork of Ethereum, a brand new blockchain, a fork of Ethereum that's being. Oh, here we go. We got Jexa. That's being. How you going, mate?
Guys, I don't think I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, I've got a audio issue. Something a bit bunky's going on. You with me?
No worries. Yeah, so I was just saying that Pulse is a fork of Ethereum.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, still can't hear you. Just give me a second. I'm going to have to mess around a little bit, guys. I'll come back in.
And I'm reading in the chat that HEX is number 4 on Nomics. Number 4.
Oh, we're taking over. Oh, no, yeah, that's right. We're about to flip USDC.
USDT? Is it USDC?
I think it's USDC.
USDC.
Oh, no, it's Tether.
No,
yeah,
it's
Tether. USDT. You're right.
Tether. Yeah, so it's pretty exciting. We got to get a chart up. Let me see.
Do you have to do something at your end to let me share screen? For some reason, the button's not working. Normally, I click this share screen button and it just pops up.
I'm going to boot you out and then you come back in.
But yeah, please.
Try it again, okay? All right. So off to a cracking start. But I was looking at the chart before, and when I looked at it, and HEX was like at 0.096. Oh, here we go.
9.7 now.
But what happened is it was at 0.096, and then it dropped down to 0.089.
Yeah.
And now it's back up.
Yeah. Yep. 9.757 or something now. There you go. First time live. 979.
979.
So we were at all. That's why
What is the all-time high?
I was like,
0.99 something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that point when that dipped down to 0.089 just got eaten up immediately.
Yeah. Come on, whale. Some whale, pull the trigger. Let's go.
I don't even think this is whales. I think this is just hexicans who have been like just waiting for the waiting to know when this sacrifice phase for the Pulse launch was going to happen, and now they're just like starting to pull the trigger.
Yeah, hexicans are whales now, aren't they?
They're the new whales.
Yeah.
Richard Hart made new whales, hey?
Yeah. So, and we got Pulse dropping probably in the next few days, or the sack phase at least.
Next few days, hey?
Yeah.
So we don't know exactly when, but we expect before the end of the week, don't we? Because we're already.
There's a lot going on, isn't it?
Yeah. It's I think that your connection, UnrekT, is really laggy.
Yeah,
laggy,
you
mate.
My
Do you
connection.
want to try maybe turning off your video and seeing
righto.
if we get anything? Jexa, how are we?
Good. I think I've got it.
Okay, we can hear you.
Awesome.
Fantastic. So we
Hey,
just
Baseline just said is 81 is the all-time high, so we're only like 0.06 or something.
look. I've seen it as high as 0.99 something
Oh, did you?
on some charts. Yeah, the when it got up there, like when was it? A couple of weeks ago.
I just wicked up
Yeah,
there.
well, someone say iBaseline saying it wicked up above 10 cents on hit BTC. So it does depend on where where it's being traded, but just I think we can say just around that 10-cent mark was the all-time high. But it'd be nice to pump right through it, just to smash through it, and it would really send a bit of a signal out there, wouldn't it?
Have you seen the rest of crypto? The rest of crypto is absolute lava, and HEX is just like 15% up.
We've had so many good things going on whilst everything else has just been in a holding pattern. So there's so many good fundamental things going on that hopefully should drive this for even longer as well.
Yeah. And it's like, even though it's all kind of, pretty price positive because of Pulse and stuff, mate, when these encapsulated stakes at the front end and we're able to buy encapsulated stakes and sell shares in them, that's just going to be like stake mania.
Yeah, I think everyone's underestimating what the staker boys are doing in the background. They're being very progressive in terms of what they've got. V2, I think they're calling it, of their app to be released. And I don't know whether that's going to be what comes out to support Pulse or whether there'll be an interim version before V2 comes out. And just listening to Steph the other day on, who was he with, on Quant Gang?
Yep.
Interesting.
Karim.
Yeah, so that was really interesting to hear him talk about what they're up to and read that Medium article as well and see what's cooking in the background. But yeah, that's going to be massive, I think.
Yeah, fully.
So today's been a really interesting day. Have you guys? There's been a few tweets here and there from Richard Hunt.
Just a few.
We've got the basic kind of idea of the sack phase now, where it's going to be like this time ramp. So get in. Probably the best bet is to get in the first 3 days, unless you want to play the game of hoping you get in at a good pump time. But probably the first 3 days is when to get in, and then kind of as much as you can.
Yeah, I think we've tried to keep it reasonably simple, so there's not too much game crafting that can go on. Hopefully, made it nice and simple. So 3 days, so everyone has got the time to get their shit together. They don't have to FOMO in the first day. They can probably just dip their toe in the water and test that everything's working for them and they're comfortable with the process, and then slide up that scale and get your positions.
So why don't we talk about quickly what we do know about this launch phase? I know 3 pieces of information, and they're not confirmed. This is still just once it only gets confirmed once Richard Hart live streams about it, tweets about it, and what else? Talks about it in the Telegram, the official Telegram Pulse chat. Apparently, we just got an all-time high, did we?
Yep. So this is on V2, Uniswap V2.
Charts, by the way.
Yep.
So
just
this is sorry.
Whoa.
That was the start of November all-time high at the sort of what's that? Yeah, 3 almost 4 cents. Then we had this all-time high where we went to almost 10 cents.
Hang on,
and now, although this is the ETH chart, but that wasn't 3 cents. That was 7 cents. Sorry. So that was an all-time high back in November. Then we had one recently. That was the one that was almost 10 cents. And then now we've just absolutely smashed through that. This is a daily chart. That is just hectic.
Yeah.
So
All-time highs on the ETH chart.
let's see if we can get this. Oh, here we go. This is the dollar chart. So sorry about that before when I said 3 cents. It was actually 0.00000, like 5 zeros and a 3 ETH. So this one was at 6 cents, like almost 7 cents was that all-time high. From memory, that was right. Then this one was the one that was almost 10 cents. And now we are, we're only just above that, really.
Yeah. So it depends where you go from. But the chart I'm looking at, the high to the wick was 9.77.
So we still haven't cracked 10 cents.
Well, like they were saying before, it depends if you do it on the centralized exchange. I think it may have busted through that at one point. But this is the
10 cents on this stream.
We may well do. So to me, V2 is the V2 chart that we've got. Obviously, we've got V3 running in the background, but that seems to be the most accurate data in terms of price. That's where most of the volume is.
I know that I was
more inclined to do that.
The sats price on Yobit, and it went to almost 300 sats. I remember all those memes that had, the dude flexing, and it was like it ran sats up to 100 sats, and at 100 sats he was like at his most buff or whatever. Now we're at 3x.
So when did he fall off the chair? What point was that? Was it 100? Was it?
I think it was 100 sats.
Every time I see that one, I still crack up.
Yeah.
UnrekT, what are you making of all of this, mate? Like you've been around since day dot, right? You've seen it when it was like 0.00000 whatever 4 or 5 6 or whatever it was. You've seen it like go up, you've seen it come down, you've seen it go up, and now you're seeing it at 10 cents. Did you ever think that it was going to get this high in such a short amount of time? I'm not sure you can even hear me.
He's
meditating. He's too busy looking at Staker app.
Never in doubt.
Never in doubt.
No, it's never in like.
Yep.
No, HEX is just doing what it's supposed to. It's doing everything right. It's just fundamentals 101 basically. It's more buyers and sellers. And look at it. It's like all of the project, all of the other coins are just a decorrelated inverse.
Yep. Yeah, mate. Your connection is just
inverse.
It ain't good. Maybe you can turn off your camera and you'll get a better connection with the audio.
So HEX.
Yeah, that's better.
Much better. Yep. It's smoking. HEX is smoking everything.
Yeah, it's just it's completely decorrelated. It's almost inverse to the rest of the market. It's awesome.
I want to see 10 cents this stream.
I think you actually might. That's pumping pretty hard at the moment, mate.
It's pumping.
It's a solid candle at the moment.
Yeah.
All time high now on
V2.
On V2. Yep. So guys, all time high. Barely Crafty. We're doing a stream soon, mate. We're going to do a stream every all time high.
He's an honorary Aussie, isn't he? He comes on here all the time.
Well, he's always welcome.
Yeah, he is definitely. Anyone's always welcome.
That's it. So like this is really a moment. Think about it, guys. This is sort of a moment of glory. 10 cents for HEX. This is a moment of absolute glory for us.
Yes.
We've been at this for like a year and a half. We've had people talk shit. They're still talking shit. We've had people talking shit non-stop for a year and a half, saying this, saying that, and we're hitting 10 cents right now. And we all know that this is sort of just the beginning. Like I feel like it's gonna keep going. Like I feel like this has legs,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
So that we are just now seeing the walls come down a little bit, and I know a few other people have already spoken about this on other streams, but it's worth mentioning again that we're now seeing the guys that shit talked so much and totally ignored Richard and the HEX community. They're really starting to see what this can do now, and you can really, it's powerful now. One or two people have spoken about it. BitBoy's come out and had his little chat as well now, and had Richard on more than once. I think they've been on once or twice on that. I can't even remember what it's called now, about blockchain or whatever they bloody had the other day. And it seems as though now people are, okay, we can talk about it a little bit. Now, they're still not real super positive. They're still hedging a little bit, but it's getting, people are saying they've got a little bit of it. We had Elio come out and mention it as well. So we've been waiting.
Do we think this has anything to do with Pulse launch? I feel like it's linked to the Pulse launch. I think these guys, they want in on the Pulse thing. They know that they're going to get a copy of all their ERC20 tokens in PRC20 form on the Pulse network. And I think they're all like, they all feel like, oh, now it's time to get, get a bit closer. And they're not talking so bad about HEX because they know they need to speak nicely about HEX if they... I
think it's a combination. So I think the chart has just literally made their face melt. So they've watched the rest of crypto tank, and they've watched HEX just power on through it. And that was even probably before. I'm just trying to think of the timing, whether that was before any mention of Pulse. So HEX was doing its own thing anyway. Market was dipping down. We're watching Bitcoin come off, and we were going strong. Now we've just got that rocket fuel in the tank. We've got Pulse, which has added to the fundamental things going on. I mean, HEX was doing this regardless. We were inching our way up, and we were building this chart. We've been building this chart for the last 18 months.
And you know what? And you know what? Like, I remember, like, OG43, I remember us doing a stream back in, like, December or Jan, talking about how what we thought would happen was, like, HEX is going to really perform in the bear market. And you, mate, all of us, we were spot on. It's played out exactly how we thought it would. Like, how often does that happen? Like,
well, I think one person in particular had a fair idea.
Yeah. But it's one thing having an idea, and it's another thing it actually happening.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's so when you look back over the history of HEX
now, doesn't it? Yeah. It feels like people are tipping in.
It's okay to come in.
This is the golden shining light, that everyone's moving towards now, and they're all coming in because they see this is where salvation is.
Yeah,
and even if there's a bear market, even if there's even if things go down, God forbid, even if things go down in HEX, you're still going to be making your interest, right?
Yeah.
You're still going to be making interest. So I think people are starting to realize that, but Pulse is helping a lot. And
that's right.
And I just want to, can I just point out that this week, and I know you did this interview a little while back, Blue Bum, but this week, an interview that you did with Martin North was released on, what was the YouTube channel? It was
Walk the World.
Walk the World, and you did an interview with him. And can I just say, you did a magnificent job and explained HEX so eloquently, in very concisely, in a way that the layman could understand. And just props to you, mate. You did a great job.
Thanks. Actually, I'd love to tell the story of how that interview came about, because I originally wrote to Martin last year, a year ago or something like that. You know what I mean? And I've been writing to heaps of different people, sort of telling them about it and seeing if they want to interview Richard or whatever like that. And so I wrote to him, didn't hear anything back at all. And then every now and then I'd go into when he was doing a live stream, and because I've got my my blue bum with the big HEX logo on the thing, and I'll just do a little bit of I don't even shill HEX when I went on. I just make comments, but because when he put the comments up, that logo came up, and so it was a little bit of kind of stealth shilling. And I did it again when he had Adam Stokes on the live, and I was making quite a lot of comments, and a lot of them were being put up. So then, and I never mentioned anything about HEX. And then after that one, I wrote to Martin again, and this time he actually wrote back to me, and I just said to him, listen, I'd love to just tell you about it. I didn't even really want to get on his. I didn't have any ideas about getting on his channel, to be honest. I thought, if anything, I'd try to get Richard onto his channel. But then, we had a conversation, and like we organised to have a Zoom, and I was just wanting to tell him about it, and then he said, "Oh, should we do an interview?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay, for sure." And we had it was back in my place when I had crap internet, so I went and had to go, and I hired like a one of those shared workspaces where they have really awesome internet, and then like I set it up in the actual kind of like, not in one of the offices they give you, but in the sort of halls, because they had lights and stuff, so I was like adjusting the lights to try to get it all good and everything like that, and it was what it was, and it went really well. And I think it's actually a strength that it was quite short, because it was only 20 minutes, but I think that's like a much better kind of length, especially for people sharing, and also for people who've never heard of it, to get that information or whatever. But I just wanted to say, like,
it could be overwhelming. Too much data can be overwhelming when it comes to this stuff, hey?
Exactly. And afterwards, I was thinking to myself, oh, I didn't mention this, I didn't mention that, I could have said this, but then I was like, you know what? It's better if it's just that succinct kind of, like, not too much info. And I've been getting a fantastic reaction. Like, even my dad said he now understands HEX. And I was like, that blew me away. And like, and I have had other relatives, because my mum sort of passed it around, and then all of a sudden other relatives have been seeing it. So my cousins are getting on board and all that kind of stuff now. And like, but it really is just like that persistence. And when we've got such an amazing
We're
product
broadcasting tonight
that we're backing, we don't. Pardon? Yeah, we don't have to sell it. You know what I mean? Like, it sells itself. Just give the information and be persistent. And you don't have to get angry. You don't have to get shirty at people or pissy at people. It's just like, it's just the walls will come crumbling down. And you can feel that momentum building now, can't you? Like, I see heaps more people on Twitter. There's just like, it just feels like we're in that building of the wave, which is just going to start rocking. And this next month or 2 or 6 months, these next few years are going to be just berserk for HEX, because it's just going to, we don't realize how big it's going to get,
And I think as a community, we're like, if this all-time high is well deserved, because everyone out there has had to put in the hard yards, put up with so much shit slinging on crypto Twitter. It's just been an absolute grueling bloody battle in there. You just go in and you're on the defense all the time. Hopefully now we can start to actually have more meaningful conversations with people about actually what it is and why it's so successful, rather than everyone on crypto Twitter just screaming at the top of their voice, trying to be heard and slinging as much shit as they can. But it's like, we are bloody organized on Twitter, and even when, as soon as everyone knew you were on your interview with Martin North, the video was up, everyone was straight across there, getting there with comments and supporting everything. And I think I've seen, on the whole, I think I might have seen one person having a bitch and a whinge about saying Martin should have done a bit more research. But on the whole, it was pretty positive, all the comments, and everyone was getting there, and they weren't just going in. There was a bit of full-on HEX for the win and all that sort of stuff, but everyone represented well, I guess, is the main thing. And we're, as a community that's social media, we're just awesome at, I think.
Yeah, we're getting better. We all started. Well, I mean, Tangent, you've been live streaming for a while, but a lot of us started streaming this sort of thing like less than a year ago. So it's a steep learning curve, and we're still, we're still learning. We're still learning on the job, we all are, aren't we? But you can see the production value of a lot of the other streams has gone up significantly, and I know that you guys put a bit of effort into it. I need to do something about this this curtain in the background here, and maybe get some sort of spaceship in my background with views of the Earth from afar. What do you reckon?
Yeah, how good is this? How good is these fake background? This is the first time I've been able to get it to work with Restream.
Hey Tangent, have you been noticed, because you're across a lot of different kind of like groups, crypto groups. Have you been noticing any changes towards HEX in those?
I've noticed that now when I mention it, people are either positive or they shut the fuck up. That's the biggest difference. That's the biggest difference that I've noticed. Yeah, people, I think with the way the chart has been demonstrating the price action, people are much more willing to take a look at it.
I mean, there's still the hardcore people that go, well, scams pump as well. And they can't move, like they can't shift from that position they've taken a year and a half ago, even when you can look across and see everything's on chain, you can just see this thing is going strong. You can watch everyone trading in and out. There's nothing to hide, but they just can't shift from that line in the sand that they drew where they made a position, and they just can't change their worldview.
Yeah, I think
there's a few that are starting to.
For anyone who has a high ego, it actually becomes harder. Oh yeah, because the more wrong they are, the more they want to dig in and resist, because they just can't admit wrongdoing, and they don't want to be wrong, so they basically just break away from reality, and so you've seen it in the past in the Bitcoin community with guys like Roger Ver, who you just see their mind breaking when they just can't let it go. They just can't let it go and admit wrong.
For me, the pinnacle of when, and it's not a high bar, but the pinnacle for when I reckon we can say the gatekeeping has come down is when Alex Saunders admits he was wrong, because that dude has been out there banging on.
I didn't know that.
He's really done.
I didn't hear about that. That's great, and that's he's Australian. I mean, just, so that's great. That's great news.
Hey guys,
he was the one.
We can claim the pump,
that was buried. Sorry, what's that? Day 43.
We can claim the pump. Hey.
Yeah, it's us. It's all us.
It's all us. Hey.
Well, we got to 9.9 cents. And I was ready to stop you guys, interrupt if we had made the 10 cent, but it never happened. We pulled back a little bit, and now we're at 9.8. But yeah, I remember Nugget was bearish all the way up the parabolic leg of the bull market, and telling his followers that they need to be cautious. And while everyone else was just making ridiculous gains, obviously, eventually he was right. But this is the problem with guys like Peter Schiff and anyone who's negative on crypto, anyone who's negative on HEX, is eventually there is going to be a correction, and that's when they'll be like, yes, see, I was right. And because nothing moves, nothing goes up or down in a straight line. If you operate like that, you'll always be able to claim these shallow victories. So yeah,
I just want to defend Nugget a little bit, because I actually do like a lot of his content, and I think that he does make good content. He does have within his own brain integrity. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
I think that early on he dug himself a hole, and he hasn't got the humility at the moment to admit he was wrong,
He's hung up on the OA. He's hung up on the OA, and he was making comments about the market cap being high because of the OA. And I said, okay, so does that mean we now need to start getting rid of founders and team coins out of all the projects, which I didn't see a response to.
he was also lying. He was saying it's owned by 99% of it is owned by rich.
That's right. Yeah.
He's just lying outright. You know what I mean?
At least
And
also he's lying by omission when he's talking about the market cap. About the volume, because you don't. You know, it's like he knows that it's plenty of volume for people to get in and out with it, but it's like, well, why do you need billions of dollars in volume?
Hey,
You
Blue
don't.
Bum, I used to think that guy was like pretty. Like I used to like watch his stuff a little bit here and there, but when he was shilling the pickle stuff, and in the same sentence, like talking shit about HEX.
Yeah,
I mean, I was already annoyed that he was talking shit about HEX, but when he's also shilling this other rug pull waiting to happen, it's just like, come on, mate, you just don't. Have, like,
guys, let's not make this about Nugget because we're at 9.9.
9.9.
Screw Nugget. We're at 9.99. I think we might.
Don't you guys agree that that's pervasive across the whole industry, where it's just insanity that it seems like there are these accepted scams that you're allowed to shill and no one cares, but then there are other projects that you're just not allowed to shill. It's so weird. Yeah. And I will admit that was a good call, Blue Bum. Thanks for throwing down and defending him, because I think his content on real estate, on Australian real estate, is great. His sort of like his general global, his economic knowledge is excellent. So he brings a lot of valuable content, but then he just drops the ball on certain things that does kind of ruin it a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, guys. So we're so close. We're 0.99. So if you're a hexagon, if you're a hexagon and you're gonna take some ETH or take some USD C and turn it into HEX, just do it now. Pump us over.
Not financial advice. Not financial advice.
Pump us over.
You can lay claim to making the top.
And you know what,
there, guys? Come on.
Also, you know, someone before, I can't remember who it was, mentioned that they just got in and just bought at 8 cents or something like that. Yep. Guys, it's still so early. In a year's time, it'll just have gone rocket ship. You know what I mean? So even if you're getting in now, and you're seeing other people who've been in for longer, don't compare yourself. It's like you are in at the right time right now, and
the best time to buy HEX was always yesterday.
We're years early at the moment, you know.
I think Blue Bum, you made a comment. I think it was you made this comment a long time ago, and it was all about time, how long you're in for with HEX. So I think you used the term time in the market, or time in with HEX. So everyone thinks they come to the party late, but we double bloody every 3 months, it seems.
Yeah.
So, and that's just a rough guess, but we're on a pretty big projection. So you come in, you think you've brought a top, and I've a lot of guys that were on board at around 7-8 cents just recently, and now they're ahead of the game already. Like this has happened very quick. Like you don't need to hang around in long for HEX to get that.
And you think about wow, what would it have been like to be in Bitcoin when the Bitcoin cap fork happened, and you've got double your coins, and that would have been, you think of those people being OGs, you know what I mean? But the people who are pre-fork to this are going to be the same in the years to come. They're going to be considered OGs, you know.
Yep.
Well, you got into you know, you got stakes and HEX on both chains, full on.
My favorite one was when Richard was like, I think it was the BitBoy stream maybe, but don't quote me on that. He was like, so with HEX, you could have got in and done a 2x, or you could have got the next 2x, or 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 the next 2x, and just went through every 2x. And we're talking, that's exponential growth, like when you're doubling every time. And, that was awesome. It's good.
Yeah, so Motley's just, sorry, go.
I was because I was just going to go back to what I was going to say earlier about the 3 things I know about Pulse. But you go ahead, mate.
Yeah, we'll finish this off and then we'll move on to Pulse. So Motley's just put in there, we've done 10x in less than 3 months. So what else has done that in the last 3 months?
Nice.
Nothing I can think of.
Yep.
So the three things I know about Pulse, I was saying this earlier on. The first thing I know is that we're going to have like this, the first 3 days, and this is not confirmed yet, but this is what we think is going to happen. We think the first 3 days of the sacrifice phase is going to be like the price of Pulse, or the token we get in Pulse's place until we get Pulse, is going to be like one. How do I explain this? It's going to be like a factor of 1. And then from the 4th day onwards, it's going to ratchet up to, it's going to go up by 5% a day, the cost of the Pulse. So what that means is that by the time you get to the 17th day in this sacrifice phase, it's going to be almost the cost of this Pulse token, or this placeholder token, is going to be 2x than what it was in the first 3 days. So that's going to be the time ramp. So if you're a small player, and this is not advice in any way, shape, or form, but I feel like my best bet as a smaller player, I know that I'm not gonna have millions to throw at this, right? But as a small player, I feel like my best bet is in those first 3 days to get like at least I get like double what I'd get if I got in on the last day. Yeah,
that's right. So if you try to be too clever, you may come unstuck. So if you just get in early in those first 3 days, you're guaranteed. Is this a fair statement? You're guaranteed to be 2x better. But if you play the waiting game looking for that pump, and each day it's ratcheting up by this 5%, and you miss time a pump, or you don't get the pump you're expecting, or whatever, then that could cost you. So the safest, easiest bet is to load up on those first 3 days. The very nature of the design of the sacrifice phase has been designed to do that, to go in hard and early.
Yeah.
Is that a fair comment?
Yeah, for sure. In the first 3 days. Like, and even if you're a whale sitting there with something else that you might want to turn into HEX to pump up the price before you do the sacrifice, it's like it's a really risky move to do it later into the sacrifice period. So I think a lot of those whale moves are still going to happen in those 3 days. So
and this whole thing of having this 3 day period, I feel like it came about because when HEX launched, we had the adoption amplifier, which went for 355 days. But at the very beginning, that first day, there was like twice the amount of HEX in the bucket. There was like 1 billion HEX in the bucket for that first day. But what happened, almost everyone just went in and FOMO'd in on the first day. And what ended up happening is that people ended up, their price that they got into HEX on the first day ended up being worse than a bit later on. So I almost feel like Richard saw that. I mean, he warned us against it. To his absolute credit, he did warn us not to go in on to go in too hard on the first day, because these things can happen. But I feel like he's designed this sacrifice phase to sort of counteract anything like that happening. What do you guys reckon? Do you think that that's sort of in the design there?
Yeah, he definitely hinted at that in some of his talks, hasn't he? And it makes perfect sense, because it's almost like it's a no-brainer. You know what I mean? Like that's when the best deal is going to be. That's when everyone's waiting to chuck it in and sacrifice it, and they want to get the best deal they can. And so just make it a simple thing. It's like, let's do it as early as possible and as much as possible, and you'll get the best deal. So
and I like the fact that the rules of the game we're just finding these out literally days before this thing goes live. And I think that's a good thing, because it stops all this game crafting and people trying to figure out how they can best manipulate the system or what they can do to game the system. So I think that's really good. It's just everything's held in reserve, then it's bang, all go. Everything goes live, go hard. That's the best way to do it. And then everyone can just kick back and chill and let's get Pulse launched.
Guys, partly
for
me, but partly also for any viewers that are in my position who don't know what are the things that we know for sure right now? Do we know like the total length of the sacrifice phase, how many blocks it's broken up into? So so hit me up with the stuff that we know.
So
exec summary stuff.
But we think we believe that there's going to be a 3-day period where we have like the same rate to get in, and then you've got 14 days after that. So a total of 7 days. It's not confirmed
7 days,
yet, but 17 days. A total of 17 days for sacrifice. That's what we think. It's not. Nothing's confirmed though, right? That's what we think.
So we don't have any known knowns yet. See, one of the biggest questions, and I'm happy to have speculation as answers from you guys, is if I sacrifice multiple different assets within a window, do they add together for how, how there's a bonus for how large you are coming in, like whether you're, do they add together, or do they all need to be the same asset if I'm going to get a bonus for how large I go? And also across those windows, does that add together in largeness, or does that split up as well?
Okay, so there is a lot of unknowns there. I thought I heard that it was, I know it could be totally wrong on this, but I thought I seen a comment somewhere that said if you were coming from a different chain. Oh, no, because you're going to link your MetaMask to the sacrifice dApp, and then you can select your chain. So you should still be associating with the same address.
Kind of like account. Like it'll be that one account for what you attach.
So now that I look back on that comment, I think I might have misread it. I think it would all just aggregate on that one address that you choose to sacrifice from, or to link to your sacrifice would be the thing I would assume.
You have to give an Ethereum address, which will be a Pulse address, where that Pulse will go. And so if you're sacrificing, Litecoin or Bitcoin or whatever, you'll have to put in what that address will be. And so it will all, as long as you all accumulate it to one address, that's what will be counted as your volume.
Yeah.
And when the time is, or whatever, I suppose. Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like, are we going to get booted here? That's.
How come?
Richard, there's a lot of talk about it. Let me just have a look. Let's see what he's up to.
He's going to go live, is he?
Well, he did say he was going to light the candles at 10. So so.
Oh, whoa. Maybe he should come on our channel.
Yeah, he should come on our show. Come on, Richard. What are you doing, mate?
We'll ask him all the hard questions.
Yeah.
Where did the ETH go, Richard? Where did the ETH go? Where's the ETH, Richard?
I don't know what everyone's talking about. He's not saying, I can't see anything on his Twitter.
Now we're going to have next level of where did the ETH go. Now it's going to be.
We
just made it. Well done, guys.
Hit 10.
Did we make it?
All the Hexicans. All the Hexicans.
Yes. My chart just updated. Yeah. Oi, let's pop some bottles. I should have had a champagne bottle here just ready to fucking F1 that shit. Just bang, just start spraying it. Yep. That's it.
Just amazing. Just quietly.
10.01. We are done. We're done here. This is the start of the moon mission. We've done it. We've done it,
guys.
We're ready for liftoff.
At this point, it would be an absolute honor to get booted off for Richard to go.
Candles.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love that.
Right on. Is he just wait?
I don't know if you thought about this. Like the sacrifice phase hasn't even started yet. So this is the pre-sacrifice phase pump.
This is the pre-pump.
This is the
pre-pump.
This is the pre-party for sure.
Yeah, remember, Jackson, we were talking about 33 cents, remember?
Yeah, my first thing was 13.5.
Yeah,
I had 13.5 from a while back, and then 33 was my where I thought we might top out a bit. But hey, who knows what could happen? That was prior to knowing about Pulse. And we also had remember there was a bunch of liquidity sitting at about 11.5 cents a few weeks ago. I haven't checked today, but that got removed. So that was I don't know what the person was doing with that, but that little barrier there that would have stopped us, got us stuck in the mud for a little bit, went missing. So yeah, I'd have to have another look now and just see whether there is anything else like that there now. But if that's gone, yeah, the brakes are off, really, aren't they?
Do you know if we have anything like that is in the buy side of it in terms of bids using the hack, that the Uniswap V3 hack, to have orders below us? Is there anything like that?
Well, you would see that. You would see a spike. You would see a spike in the liquidity chart, and you would see that it was made up of USDC or ETH. So you'd see that sitting on the, so beneath the current price, you would see that sitting beneath the current price.
Where do you go to look at that?
So on, I think it's, just go to uniswap.org.
Or uniswap.org.
You go to uniswap.org. And I'll guide you to it. Then there's, so under the menu item, under products.
Yep.
Up at the top, under products, under analytics.
Oh, nice.
So maybe we can bring this up on search for HEX.
Yep. I'm there now. So tokens.
And then you can find the pool. So the HEX. So if you go to the HEX USDC pool, and got that.
Oh, and then you just pick one. So we'll just go
to the one with the most.
Oh, sorry. We want HEX though. Are these HEX pools?
So yeah, I can.
Oh, there we go. You want either USDC or ETH, but we'll just do the bigger one. So that's USDC. Oh, okay, so this is the liquidity.
See, she wants $100.
This is just loading up. That's the liquidity breakdown. Nice.
Yeah.
Wait. We want both sides of it, don't we? This is just total. Wait. So
while you're doing that, in our family, we had a little wish box that when HEX got to 10 cents, our family could each put a couple of wishes in on something they wanted. My young kids have just flicked me a note saying, "Yeah, we got to 10 cents." So they're all jumping around like idiots.
They were ready. Okay, so here we go. Thanks for telling me about this, Jex. I wasn't actually aware that they had really upped their game on their internal tools.
So there you go. What you can, so that big line, that section that you can see, obviously the peak, that means there's a lot of USDC sitting there around the asymmetric
mark. Asymmetric LP. Yeah. So basically, we're not going to hit this significant resistance until 11.5 cents. This is all looking pretty even through here. There is a little bit up here.
Yeah. So where the red line is current price. So anything below that is sitting there as buy.
Sorry. I thought that this way was above the price, but so these are buy walls. So we've actually got more buy walls than sell walls.
Correct. Yeah. So the other day,
8.5 cents. Oh, guys, we are sweet.
And what you see,
spoiler alert, these guys are never getting filled because we're going to the moon from here.
And that's what you see as the price goes up. You see that buy wall just not ratcheting up, like someone is taking it in and out and just ratcheting it up, just having that support wall go up and up and up. We've got some very.
I know who the haters are going to claim that is.
Dude, anyone can do that. It's version 3. Anyone can do it. Any coin could do that if they want. That's just the game that they've set up. And the Hexagon liquidity providers are just playing it. You know,
guys.
How else are you meant to play it? You know?
Guys. When we get above 15 cents, which is only a 50% pump from here, like 150%, there is literally like no resistance.
But they'll move it. They'll change it.
Yeah. People will change, and liquidity. Yeah, liquidity may come in. People want to sell.
Not if we go quick.
Yeah, rock on.
I just want to I want to apologize to the guys in the chat. For some reason, Restream is not allowing me to show any of your comments on the screen. So I am reading them, but unfortunately I can't get them on the screen. So
whoa, the comments are going crazy. Comments are flying in. Look at this. You guys are going to have to put a rate limiter on this thing.
No, I'm not. I don't know where I'm watching, but I'm not seeing that many.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that many. I mean, I'm just seeing the thing.
Can you see my screen?
So, guys, how about
hectic.
let's talk a little bit about this, about the sacrifice stage. So, like, I think it's probably a smart idea to put, let's say, most of what you want to sacrifice in that first 3 days. But like, when you've decided how much you want to sacrifice, would you hold a percentage for the rest of the sacrifice stage? And if you were going to decide to hold a certain percentage for the rest, in case the price does pump above 2 or 3x by the end of it, like, would you hold a certain percentage in case of that pump and you wanted to sacrifice towards the end of the stage? Like, what do you reckon, 43?
I think that's going to depend on your position. Like, it's going to be a very individual thing. I'm leaning towards just making it easy on myself because look, the way I think about this is like I've been running my own business for a number of years now. When I got into it, we used to manufacture in Australia. And then when I took it offshore and started manufacturing overseas, I started having to play with currencies and locking in currencies and, trying to predict like how much I'd need to lock in for what amount of time and all this sort of stuff. And at some point I felt like I was gambling. I felt like this is just like, I'm just gambling here because one year I could be $10,000 better off and next year I could be, $10,000 worse off or more or less or whatever. So I came to really dislike that game because it just meant that I couldn't get on with business. I'm like thinking about this stuff. So I'm going to be leaning towards simplicity. I'm going to be leaning towards first 3 days, get it in, and I'm always going to keep a very, very small bag of liquid HEX. Always. That's just going to be, that's the way I like to have it. But it's so small it's really to the tune of like one or two weeks worth of interest. It's not very much at all. And that's just to have something, because if it does pump really, really hard, maybe you want to, sell a little bit of it, I don't know. I don't know what other people want to do, but
so
that's the way I think about it.
So we're talking about timing and when you're coming into the sacrifice chamber. Is anyone really solid on the 0.125 over the last 3 days and how that impacts things? So does anyone know what I'm talking about, or?
Are you talking about the volume or the time?
I think that was no, that might have been a volume one.
Yeah, I think that's volume.
Yeah, so what was it?
You can't do too much with that unless you decide to go.
But what it was is if you came in, if you missed the whole sack phase right up until the last 3 days, and there was like a little Easter egg at the end where you could come in late. So if you were late to the party, you could still come in and do better than just a 1x. Like you could, I think it was up to 1.25x. So there was just a little bit of a carrot there. So what that might mean is if you're coming in on day, I think that kicked in at day 15, 16, 17. So if you were about to go in on day 13, you might be better off waiting till day 15, 16 or 17. So it was just that little carrot there at the end. Did you pick up that bit?
I think it's good. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but that's the way I was interpreting it.
To stop people from believing that they're getting a bad deal.
Yeah, that's right. So it's a psychological
there will
thing.
Be that kind of maybe last minute rush for people to go in.
Yep.
The thing is that it's actually not it's not a 25% extra, because you just can. It's all in proportion to what everyone else has done. So, like, you can call it a 1.25, but if everyone else has got a 2.5 or a 2 or whatever, then it's all relative to everybody else. I mean, long story short, if you put in the sack phase, you're going to get a pretty good price for Pulse, and it's hard to say what it's going to do after the launch. But you don't expect, if people are sacrificing real value USD, that it's going to really, the people aren't going to sell, at least until they get 2, 3, 4x or something like that. You know what I mean? At the very least. So I think that anyone who puts in, during the sack phase will do well. So what about you, Tanj? Are you gonna kind of?
I agree with
Tangent. Can I just jump in there? Just one
go.
second, mate. Sorry, mate. I just want to shout out to the chat. I've been sitting on it for a couple of minutes. Thanks to Cause D, who's put in a super chat for 20 CA. Is that what's CA? Canadian. Thank you very much. And they've written peace, love, and many blessings. Thank you very much. And also, I just want to say we did say that Motley Investor here did say save some HEX for the snapshot after the sacrifice phase, which is a very good idea as well. Make sure that you have some HEX liquid. Well, you don't have to have it liquid, but if you've got some HEX, have it for the snapshot, and then you're going to get a PRC20 version on the other side. Sorry, Tangent. Sorry for jumping.
No, that's cool, man. I was going to say, I agree with day 43. It's a very personal thing, so I can only really tell you what I'm personally doing, not in detail, but in general. You guys that follow my channel know I'm about regret minimization. So you, in that sense, from that lens, you would definitely not go all in at the very start, because if there was a massive price pump mid cycle, like middle of the sacrifice phase, you would kick yourself for not being able to jump on that particular window. So, and certainly keeping in mind that the HEX that you don't sacrifice gets mirrored on the new chain. So that's something to factor in. So I'm definitely going to broadly have all bases covered. Some, or probably most of what I want to sacrifice at the very, very start. Some of what I want to sacrifice held through the period, just to look for those massive pumps if they do happen. Or like someone said, I forget who it was, sorry, that there might be a massive pump that you might actually just want to sell into at some point. So either to re-sacrifice, add to your sacrifice, or to just take some profit if there's a massive pump during the phase. And then some holding liquid for the mirror and some stakes. Boom, done, easy.
What kind of percentages are you thinking, Tangent?
As time goes on, as time has gone on, the amount I want to sacrifice has gone up. I don't know if this was a deliberate tactic from Richard, but as I've just got more and more keen over time, I've actually just, in my mind, it's just gone on the increase. It would be difficult for me to put a percentage term on it. Wait, let me think. Someone else talk while I can do the math.
Well,
and then I can
I'll tell you mine. I'll tell you what I've been thinking. Like, I've got an amount of liquid, and I've been thinking of sacrificing like between a quarter and a third of that liquid HEX. I mean, it's HEX of that liquid HEX, and I think that probably like 80 or 90% of it thrown in the first 3 days, and keep 10 to 20% for a later date. That's kind of how I'm thinking of it. And the reason I'm only doing a quarter to a third is to get those HEX on the other side of PulseChain, but also I'm really saving up for these encapsulated stakes. I want to have a nice big bag of HEX to make an encapsulated stake when that comes out, so that I can then hold that for a while, and then when I need the money, start selling shares out of that. So
that's a bit of an advanced play. I just want to be. So we always talk about dollar cost averaging, and throughout the period of the AA, which was obviously very extended and different game mechanics, it made sense to dollar cost averaging over a period of time. Obviously, towards the later stages, you weren't getting as good a deal. But that dollar cost averaging play worked out pretty well as opposed to just going all in the first day or two. With the sacrifice phase, I think dollar cost averaging takes on a different meaning. So I think it would be a mistake to break up your liquid HEX that you're planning on sacrificing and doing it across the full length of the sac phase. I think more in line with what you're saying, Bluey, where you might DCA over the first 3 days. You might break it into chunks, whatever it is, 10%, 15%, however you choose to do it, and come in over that that
and
first 3 days
for the rest.
But yes, well, not leave a little bit there. So if something does go ballistic, you can be part of it. But I think you might, if you were to break it up in dollar cost average every day over it, I don't know, you might regret that in the end.
I've got a little like speculation I want to throw out there, and I don't know. This is just me, like speculating. So if you sacrifice, you're going to get like probably going to get an airdrop of Pulse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Likely.
Yep.
Very likely.
Yep. No expectations.
No expectations.
Right. Can you imagine if there were like other airdrops that could come about as a result of this launch?
Right. So let's go a little. Let's go a little bit Moon Boy. What type of things could be dropped?
Oof, I haven't even thought like what could be dropped, but
I guess
like,
any project that wants to bootstrap their community into the most legendary community that exists would potentially want to drop to that set.
Mm-hmm.
If you like legends, you like people that are awesome, people that are ethical, honest, people that believe in the project and are just all round good people, then you would want to use that set.
So they might use that as a strategy to get like engagement from their people on the ETH side, and they might say, "Oh, we're gonna do an airdrop on Pulse to get some people to." So I just think that there's potential for all of this stuff to happen. Pulse is just one particular thing, but all sorts of stuff can happen. Like these are exciting times, guys. I mean, if the price wasn't exciting enough for you, like these times right now, exciting times.
So we seen that play out when that happened on EOS, and if you were involved in the initial phases of EOS, there was a lot of things that like that sacrifice set. The set was what they used for a lot of airdrops for. There's probably 10 or more projects that got airdropped to people that were in that initial EOS launch. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I was not aware of that.
Was anything worth much, or was it all just kind of?
I think there was things like what's it called, Evripedia, which is like supposed to be the decentralized wiki.
Oh yeah.
EOS DAC was another one. There was a raft of them that came out. Now I honestly couldn't tell you what they're worth these days. I've probably still got a few of them banging around somewhere, to be honest.
Well, I guess when you consider that there are projects that have airdropped to every ETH address who even has any sort of amount of ETH in it, this is at least a little bit more targeted than that. Like that. So when you think someone's gone with like a shotgun approach and just gone any ETH address with a freaking ETH in it, like do it, drop it.
Yep. So we've got. I'm not sure if we're paying attention to the chat, but there's a lot of questions coming up in there.
Oh, can I quickly do my percentages? This will just 2 seconds.
Yep.
So I'm 60% staked at the moment, and that's because I stopped doing stakes once Pulse was announced. I just at the time gas fees were high, so I didn't continue to roll my stakes. So at the moment, 60% staked. Of the 40% that I'm liquid, which I know is a huge liquid percentage, which I haven't sold any of, I've just held it liquid. I'm going to do between 10 and 20% sacrifice straight at the very start, and then keep another 5 to 10% of that for looking at targeted opportunities throughout the remainder of the phase. Now, I know that probably sounds small compared to what most hexicans might be looking at in percentage terms, but my bags are, obviously just factor in that if someone's bags are large enough, then this is still can be serious dollars that even though these percentages don't sound that high. So yeah, that's my breakdown.
Yep.
Okay, so we've got a question in the chat about what is an encapsulated stake. Sometimes we make the mistake of just talking about things and we forget to break down what they are. So yeah, Bluebum, you're talking about encapsulated stakes and that you were interested in that side of things. Do you want to have a go at explaining what the encapsulated stake is?
Well, first, quickly, if you want to get a better explanation right from the horse's mouth, go to the quant. Was it on Quant Gang?
Yeah, Quant Gang. Yep.
It
Yep.
It was in the last few days.
Yeah, within the last week. Yeah.
Within the last week, just check out.
Here we go. I've got the link here. I'll put it in.
Oh, great.
Can we?
So just quickly, what it is what it enables you to do is to do a stake, and so most of them will probably be the maximum 5555. And once you have that stake, you can it's encapsulated, so you can send it to other addresses, I believe. And there also is a way of you to be able to sell shares in that stake. And so you can only, let's say you only want to turn 10% of it or 20% of that stake into shares, and you can only sell that part of it. And so then that person, so that they will have markets. And so basically it's a kind of a way for you to borrow against your stake. And so what you could do is something like get the maximum, like a nice big one. If you can, get the bigger pays better bonus, then the longer pays better bonus, and then just hold it for like a year or two to watch the price shoot up. And then rather than having to wait the whole 15 years to get at that money, you can just sell 10% of it. And people can buy those shares in that, and there'll be a market for those. So
you know what I think would be a good approach? So if you chuck something out, if you get one of those and you go for the fences in terms of bonuses and things like that and chuck it out at 15 years, that's great. But then you've got to find other very committed people that want to come on that journey. I think a good approach might be...
No, they can sell their shares.
Is that true?
Shares to other people. Yeah, okay. There'll be a market.
Yeah, but you don't...
I'm going to jump in here and just clarify a couple of things, okay? Yep. When we talk about encapsulated stakes, we could be talking about there's a contract that you can use, which you're inside this contract, and then within that contract, you can exchange individual stakes, right? So that code exists, and there's a contract for you to do that. Now, that would be different from if you were to encapsulate stakes in a wallet that has a layer of abstraction between the private keys that make the stake and the private keys that you hold. And that is sort of what the Staker app does, because that has a Gnosis safe wallet. So you don't actually have the private keys you have the private keys to that wallet, but you don't have the private keys to that make the actual stakes. So in that way, you could actually trade that whole wallet. Right, you could trade that whole wallet and transfer it to someone else. And I don't believe that's been. I'm not sure if that has been done much or at all yet, but I know that is something that could be done in the future.
Well, the contract
it's just a way to be able to transfer stakes, whereas previously you weren't able to do that.
That's it.
That's a pretty good summary. Yeah, but it allows you to, and just by leveraging off of Gnosis, there's a whole raft of extra things you can do about multi-sig and transfer of ownerships. A whole raft of things that will come along with that. Having using a hardware wallet as one of the signing entities, and using MetaMask as another, or whatever, or Staker as another, so you can basically set up your security in a lot more layered fashion. So it's the security aspect, but it's also the transferring of shares that is probably going to be pretty amazing. And what I was sort of saying before is, if you had a series of these lined up from, I don't know, year 5 out to year 15, you could actually offer different return streams to people that they could buy in a slice of each of those as well, and that way they're not waiting till 15 years for when or the interest comes due. Now, I don't know about reselling parts of it, Bluey. I'd have to check into that and see how that would work, but that would be an interesting market nonetheless.
Yeah, they're doing it through Arbitrum. This is what we talked about last time as well. But then after watching what Steph was saying, and also there are some Medium articles about it, I'm pretty sure that's what you'll be able to do. So there's
how do you spell that? Arbitrum.
Arbitrum. Arbitrum. Go to the Medium article that Steph. I think it's on the Staker Medium.
Yeah, I have to check it out.
Yeah.
How are we going on the chart there, Tangent?
Oh, we've pulled back a little bit, but still above 10 cents.
Still above 10 cents.
That's
wouldn't it be nice to find the floor at 10 cents?
We wicked back down all the way back down to 10 cents. Oh, so back up.
With those encapsulated stakes, all the code and the contracts have been written and they've been done. It's just the front end that needs to be built. And when that happens, we're going to see a massive uptick in 555 in Quattro Cinco stakes.
Yeah, I think so.
People are going to be locking that shit up because they know they're going to be able to either sell it partially or whole years down the track without having to wait the full time.
The thing that scares people about doing a 15-year stake is that you can't access the money for 15 years. So if you can trade parts of it, then there's going to be much more interest in locking up for that long.
And I think the net result, so you do make this more liquid, but it doesn't have sell pressure on HEX, does it? If I've got that right. So you're still having the same net effect where you're locking up HEX. So you're destroying HEX to get your T shares. But if you sell it, do they need? Is there? I guess
it takes.
Could you sell it in something else though? So someone can pay in ETH or USDC. So therefore, there's no actual sell pressure on HEX itself.
There won't be sell pressure on HEX, but that economic energy of people who would have bought actual HEX may just be buying the shares in a stake rather than going and buying HEX.
Yeah, so that's not terrible though. It's not a negative pressure though, so that's not terrible.
Yeah.
And look, there'll only be so many of those floating around, and they'll be going up in value as well because T share price will probably be going up in value as people end state. So that will put upward price pressure on the cost of those shares anyway. So I don't think that's a negative thing.
Well, the people buying the shares, they'll be buying those shares because they'll get a bit of a discount for it, and and the person selling will have to be selling it at a bit of a discount as well, but not too much. And the thing is that they know that they'll be able to. The people who buy it will know that they'll be able to sell it down the road if they want to. So there'll be people doing all of that trading game within that as well. But it also opens up the gates for all of those kind of grayscales and all of that kind of stuff as well, or institutional buyers.
Next question.
Someone's saying that we hit 20 cents on DEX.
Yeah, I don't know that that's true.
FUD. That's FUD. We should be at least 33.
All right. So
what's next, guys? What's next?
Yeah. So anything? We're still on the Pulse side of things what we do know. Let me go through. I did have a Word document that had a few.
Can I tell you guys what I'm most excited about? I know that everything is exciting about the whole everything, all of it, but I am just super excited to get onto a chain that I trust and just start absolutely doing all the stuff that I've always wanted to do in DeFi that has just been a shit show on every other chain. I just cannot wait to just consolidate coins into what I want and just do everything, just go nuts. I'm going to be going nuts. It's going to be like a playground. I'm going to be in the sand pit, just having an absolute time.
See, the thing is, when you don't have to pay, when it's negligible, the transaction cost is negligible, people are just going to be trading in and out of stuff like no one's business because you don't have to think twice about it. Like at the moment, when and especially when things are pumping and it's a really big decision to buy or sell because you have to pay an extra $100 or $50 or even $20 or $5. But now people are just going to be whacking into liquidity, out of liquidity, going over to this one, out of this one and that one. Like, I mean, I even just noticed it with myself when we did QuickSwap. When it's just like when you don't have to think about the transaction costs, you're just like, well, I just get to tactically move wherever I want without having to worry about that. And like, yeah,
I think the main thing is that anyone that gets in early, and I know this will sound like a bit of a pitch, but anyone that gets in early, you're actually going to be. It'll almost be like you know when everything blew up in DeFi and the fees just became ridiculous, but ETH whales didn't care because the scale of what they were doing made it fine. Anyone who gets early into Pulse is going to have that same thing, so that even if fees did go up, you're going to have enough Pulse that you're not going to care about whether fees are slightly higher or lower.
I mean, we're talking years
dominating that entire platform.
Yeah, we're talking years. Like this is just the fact that we've got 4x more throughput means the longevity is a lot more there on the fee side of things anyway, because we can stuff more transactions into a time period.
Yeah.
So have we talked about what you can actually sacrifice from? Because we've got a list that
Richard posted a list, didn't he?
Do we have that list? Can we? Can someone grab that and maybe?
Yeah, I could probably do a screen share. Just give me a. It
was on Twitter, I think.
It was on Twitter. Yep. I know Avalanche was on there because I saw people like saying, "What's Avalanche?"
Avalanche is
actually. You know what? I've got some stuff trapped on Avalanche at the moment. I was trying to pull it off today, and I was surprised that was on there. That was on the list. That's a layer 2 or a fake layer 2 of Ethereum.
No, it's not like hang on. Avalanche is its own blockchain with its completely different consensus mechanism. It's not proof of work, and it's not proof of stake. It's like it's the Avalanche consensus mechanism, and it's a really interesting take on how to bring consensus to a whole lot of to a network. And it's the guy who invented it is Emin Segura or something like that, and he's pre-Bitcoin. He's one of those full OGs who's been in the space even pre-Bitcoin, and
cypherpunk mailing list level OG. Yeah,
and I was following him during the block wars because he was just one of very few contrarians against the developers at that stage. Like he was saying, no, just bloody make the box bigger, you dickheads. Like not like that, but that's my paraphrasing.
So he was a big blocker.
Well, he was like making a lot of. He was like talking through a lot of the bullshit that the devs were saying at that time, the Bitcoin devs. And at the time, I was just new into the Bitcoin space, and I was trying to work out who to believe. And in the end, I kind of sided with the Bitcoin devs, and Andreas Antonopoulos and all of those kind of people like, small blocks.
Good move.
And then, I didn't know what I was doing. And then it took a while later to realize, oh, no, those guys were just like trying to keep Bitcoin in the quagmire and not have any development happen on it. But that took years to play out. But he was like really critical of them back then. And he was giving good arguments as well. So I followed him for a long time because he was a contrarian voice, and he seemed like he's a smart guy. And when you read about Avalanche's consensus mechanism, it's a very interesting approach to how you come about consensus within a network and how that can scale.
Bad.
They did have an inflation bug, a small inflation bug, like a few months back. And I wouldn't.
Did you just say a small inflation?
Yeah, it was. It was a very small one. They did. But Bitcoin has had
so you mean it was an inflation bug that was exploited to
to a small degree.
No,
So the takeaway from this is if you want to sacrifice your avalanche,
hang on.
The takeaway is tell that guy to unstuck my transactions so I can get back to the main chain so I can fucking get my mirrored coins on
all that free avalanche that was just
No.
out of nowhere. You can sacrifice that.
It wasn't an exploit. It wasn't like the hacker found an exploit.
We're just yanking your chain, mate. It's all good.
Yeah, I'm just joking.
It was basically
So this is what we know so far in terms of what we can sacrifice from. So the avalanche, we've covered that thoroughly. Bitcoin Cash, Cardano, Dogecoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Monero, Ripple, Zcash. Obviously, with the Ethereum side of things, and that's what this tweet here relates to on the side. When we say Ethereum, you could assume that would be most, if not all, ERC20s that are on top of Ethereum as well. I don't know if there's anything that's been excluded specifically. Maybe. But I don't think so. I think it would be
to get some clarity on that. It would be nice to get some clarity on the ERC20s thing.
Yeah, so it says there's a bunch of ERC20s that will be okay.
I think it's going to be very few that are excluded.
Yeah.
Just looking at this list, I feel like it would be fantastic to have a bridge to Monero with Pulse. Yeah. I feel like that would be amazing. I'd love to see that. I really
Monero is one of the most difficult coins to do that with, man. Like wallets in the past have had such a hard time. It's because of the anonymity and the ring signatures. It's so difficult to do sort of integration stuff.
But I think Monero have been making some changes in the last few months. And I think that apparently now Monero has gotten a lot better. So it might be worth looking into because it is a privacy solution. And I think that they've got transaction fees really, really fast and really, really cheap now. So
guys, we are almost at 11 cents now.
It's gonna be blue sky from here, hey?
Holy
blue sky now.
That's a 10% pump from the level that we were just cheering about.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
That's insane.
I just want to do.
No, it's funny. You guys know Tone Vase, obviously. He actually did a very recent episode calling of his crypto scam series, and the coin that they chose to do as crypto scam was Monero, and that surprised me. And also, I don't necessarily I don't agree with that. I like Monero. I like Puppy Pony.
How is Monero a scam? How is it a scam?
I don't want to spend. I could tell you what their points were, but let's not go there.
That's why it's a scam.
For anyone who's interested, they can go and watch his episode. They've got some reasoning. They've got some arguments there. He actually had two guys on that I really respect the shit out of. Giacomo Zucco, and actually Giacomo Zucco was one of the guys who had an interview with Richard. And I know he came on there and was pseudo calling HEX a scam. However, I actually really rate Giacomo. He's about freedom. He's about his ethics are in the right place. And the other guy was a
politician. He used to be in the Italian. He used to run. I think he used to run the Italian Tea Party.
Wow,
years back.
So that's even more amazing that he kind of he came from that side of things and then flipped to become an anarchist.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's it.
Nice.
But look, I actually rate that guy as well. I think
his stuff is usually on point.
He's a smart guy. He's a smart guy, but then I think that, he has.
I can tell you why he was wrong about HEX. I can tell you why he was wrong about HEX. Because his main point was if the sole reason for why your coin is so amazing is it's designed to go up in value, it's designed to do a 10,000x, then I can just make a coin where the pitch is it's designed to do a 20,000x, and suddenly my coin is better than yours. But what he was failing to recognize is two things: first mover advantage and community. And also, when I say first mover advantage, I mean on the specific use case. So if someone had just cloned the coin, and I mean, we saw this, there were cloned coins that all failed. There were cloned coins that just continued to get wrecked.
They did exactly what you said. They doubled the bonus.
They did exactly the same thing. They just changed that. They just basically tweaked the tokenomics. And if it was as simple as tweaking tokenomics, then any idiot could make a project that just goes to the moon. So, so he was actually, his logic was correct. Like, so that was correct. If this, then this, that was both correct. But he just failed. He failed to miss that subtlety, that nuanced difference between what you can and can't do and what pumps and what doesn't pump.
Yeah, I think there's more to it than that. I think you're underplaying the tech side of things with HEX.
Do you think we'll see a serious attempt at a HEX copycat?
What? Sorry.
Do you think we'll see a serious attempt at a HEX copycat?
Well, you can't. The code's licensed.
Some.
If somebody makes a contract that doesn't have any admin keys, like, I mean, I know there's all sorts of other things.
There's so much in it, mate. Yeah, there's so much in it.
But it's just like,
I guess he was looking at a very high level of saying, he wasn't saying going down in and working out what was licensed, what was not licensed, etc. He was just saying, in theory, if I could make the identical project to you, but then also claim that I'm thinking it's going to do a 20,000. So he wasn't think of it on just that high level with the assumption that he could copy the tech and just alter the pitch and the tokenomics. So he did. Look, hindsight, like we can all see he got it wrong. He got it so wrong. So everyone who went against HEX got it wrong. Obviously,
I want to touch on something as well. I'll let you go, mate. You go finish. So
I've finished.
So we've all been listening to Richard talk about miner extracted value and things like that, and one of the big things Richard has always said from the start is miners are not your friend. And I was on a bit of a journey finding out a little bit more about validating nodes and how they might work and how it could all piece together. And I came across a video on YouTube, which was a bunch of miners covering the topic of miner extracted value. And it was really interesting listening to them talk how they were, a lot of the pools, to be more specific, were in the business of doing all the front running of the trades that get done on dexes and coming up with exploits and ways where they can manipulate ordering of transactions to their advantage. And one specific one was pushing the price around of oracles, which are obviously then injected into the block for setting things on decentralized exchange orders and things like that. So it is very, very real what these guys do. And the fact that HEX doesn't rely on any oracles, doesn't have the admin keys, I just don't think you can underestimate how powerful that is. It hasn't been able to be pushed around because of that. So its price is derived on Uniswap. It's not sucking in information from somewhere else that these guys can manipulate and tweak. So it was very enlightening to listen to these guys and see, just what sort of shenanigans they're up to. And there's two levels of it as well. So you've got the guys that are providing a lot of the processing power, which are joining pools, but they don't know what backroom deals the pool operators are doing with whales that want to front run price and things like that. So they can have backroom off-chain kickbacks with a series of people that say something like, if you all agree to pay me X amount and I'll ensure that your transactions get through first, but if yours gets through and the other three fail, you don't owe me anything. So they can set up all these backroom deals where they're actually colluding with with people to push the price around and take advantage of us normal guys out there. So if you think there's not a lot of that going on, what's that?
It's a blockchain mafia.
Yeah, it is, mate. And that's so we talk about having miners protect the network, but man, there's some shady shit going on there too.
Yeah. And I think EIP 1559 is going to help them do that. I think I was listening to something similar, and they were talking about EIP 1559, and it didn't sound like it's going to be good for the users at all.
Man, it's not. It's shit. There's still a bidding war to get your transactions through.
Yeah.
It's not any better.
Yeah.
Yep.
It means they'll just set a kind of a $5 minimum or something for a transaction. It's like, oh, great.
Yeah, but you can bet your lefty that when it comes down to a peak period on the network, it's the guys that are paying the big fees because that's just the way it works. If you pay the bigger fee, you'll get included in the block. It's the way it's going to work.
Yeah.
So typical Ethereum, just renaming shit to make it sound different when it's actually the same.
Yep. So yeah, this is timely. What we're all going through here now with Pulse launch. That is very timely, and I think it's a good thing for the whole ecosystem.
Today, I literally was sitting there. Are you all prepared for? Sorry, mate. Are you guys all prepared? Like, have you all got your ducks in the row, ready to go? Because we're talking like 2 days. Like, this is like a couple of days away. This is about to start. You know, you need to have all your. You need to, if you're sitting on like a bunch of Ethereum, maybe you want to get out of that because you're not going to get much in the way of when. Do we even know when the snapshot?
But remember, remember, lots of the stuff that you need to prepare for is for the snapshot. So
that's true.
Preparing for the sacrifice phase is not as time consuming, but my list is long of stuff that I need to do before the snapshot, and I have done not enough of it. Buying things that I think will be good to be mirrored, pulling shit off layer 2s so that so that those things get mirrored, making sure that things are not like locked up in contracts that might not be immediately available on the other things. So all like staking, liquidity providing, like anything. If you don't trust that it's going to work flawlessly straight away, ideally you probably don't want to be trapped in those, have assets trapped in contracts. So pulling out of contracts, pulling out of layer 2, positioning myself in coins that I want, and getting rid of Ethereum and USDC and other stable coins into other shit is like probably my top 4 important things that I have not done enough of.
Mm-hmm. And it might only be a week in between the end of the.
I know.
RG3 says he makes a very good point there. He says get a separate snapshot wallet. Makes a lot of sense. I mean, you don't need to really have any stakes on that particular wallet. You can just move.
From an OPSEC point of view, that is sound advice. Like, keep everything separate. You want this to be fresh.
Yeah. Get your Trezor Model Ts, get passphrased, security.
Yeah, it's a chance to upgrade your security as well. That's for sure.
So we had a bit of a fudder in there saying something about I forget what he said. And then Ross Hex
Bring it.
Ross Hex has come out and said, "Love being scammed into life-lasting wealth."
Crazy. Can I just do a community service announcement? All the guys, all my friends have been just hitting me up for the last hour. They're obviously excited about the price, but Staker has been having a few issues loading. It seems like half the people are okay, other half are getting like timeouts and things like that. So that there is a bit of that going on at the moment. And I'm probably sure that's because everyone's sitting there swiping the screen trying to refresh the price.
You didn't see that tweet by Steph that they've implemented like a down swipe limit. You can't down swipe more than 10 times a minute.
Locks your phone. So I think obviously they're getting pumped, and that's a good thing. It means that there's obviously a lot of people getting on board and using the tech. So we've got a few little teething issues. But
Jackson, just be if you for some people, because I don't use the smart wallet, I only use Staker app purely as an observational tool. Does that mess some people around if they're actually using those smart wallets where they actually are using Staker app to actually interact with?
Yeah, well, you are. In this instance, if you can't get into your app, then you can't transfer, you can't swap, things like that. So it's
all right. So people like me that only use it literally as a observational tool it's read only should probably back off and not use it and allow people who actually require it as a critical piece of tech to get the bandwidth. Yeah,
look, the guys are obviously busily working on what's going on, but yeah, it might be nice if we all just back off a little bit, stop swiping it every 2 seconds.
But Jexa, isn't there a way, like you've got the seed words of your wallet, so isn't there a way to not have to use the Staker app and just be able to go directly to your Gnosis wallet? Like, can't you?
I'm not sure how the smart wallets
believe
work.
so at this stage. RG might have, Day 43 might have had a play with it. I don't think you can restore it to a Gnosis safe of your own creating at this point in time.
No?
Could be wrong.
I mean, look, there's obviously a way to manage it with code, but we just don't know. I mean, that's what Staker is. Staker, that's what they've developed, a way to do that. And that's the product you're paying for.
Yeah, but it's just a Gnosis
when I
wallet.
say you're paying for the product, you don't actually pay anything to use the Staker app. It's basically free. You know?
No, you pay for swaps. Yeah, you pay a certain amount for swaps and stakes and all of that kind of stuff. Like there's revenue.
It's not much though, is it? It doesn't never seem like much. It won't be. One thing's for sure. Yeah. On the Pulse side of things, it's not going to be much. It's going to be pretty cheap, I would have thought.
Yeah, so it's just, I mean, everyone's obviously hitting pretty hard. Obviously, a few things going on. Just be aware of it. I'm sure the guys are pretty clever. They'll be all over it. And I think last time they did have a glitch like this last time where something went wrong on some Amazon hosting that they had. One of the endpoints on the Amazon server was giving them a bit of grief. But see how we go. But just if you're worrying about things, I'm sure Steph and the team are all over it. Just give them a bit of time. Everyone's still here? Yeah, it went weird.
Yeah, forgive my memory, but was it this stream or the earlier stream I did today where I shilled your site, Jexa? Because I was in the Pulse voice chat, and shockingly, people were talking more about security, hardware wallets, and that sort of thing than they were about the speculation to do with Pulse's launch. And I noticed that the admins were giving a lot of information repetitively to people about people who had made mistakes in the past and how they could rectify it. And so I jumped in on the voice chat, even though I had promised myself I was going to shut the fuck up and stay completely silent in there. And said, look, Jex's website, safehex.win, actually has all this information on it so that you don't have to keep repeating it for these noobs. You can just say
Hex safe.
I'm gonna have to buy a safe hex.win, aren't I?
So that's a similar.
I'll get that domain
someone
as well.
Someone in the chat's already buying it. They're already clicking.
I'll sell it to me later.
Hey guys, we're about to flip Tether.
Awesome.
Wait, by the way, what? No way. No way. No.
Yeah.
No
We're
way.
only a few $100 million away from flipping Tether.
So basically, we're so close to 11 cents now that it's ridiculous. Like we're 10.95. The wick is up at 10.95, and like I'm down on the 5-minute chart, about to flip to a 1-minute chart. Just to
I'm in the 5-minute as well.
And by the way, we've got a decent looking support
10.929
at 10.35 or 10.36 and 9.77 are significant support zones. Obviously that's on the 5-minute chart though. But I might even just drop down to the 1 minute and just see what's up. But I need to see this for myself on Nomics. What's up with? So you reckon on Nomics we're about to flip Tether?
I'll bring it up.
So it would be reasonable to expect that 9.8 cents.
Oh my God, you're right. Holy fuck. Man, bro, what?
So 9.8 cents could be a bit of a support for us now.
I mean, we were technically number 3 anyway because Tether's a stable coin, but now it's going to be like legit.
Yeah.
We're on flippening watch at the moment. This could happen any second. Any second.
Has anyone made a HEX flipping site? I know there's one for ETH and Bitcoin where they think that ETH is going to flip Bitcoin, and it's got like a chart.
We're only a 4.
I guess we've got that chart. We've just got that chart that shows every coin versus HEX over the last just moonbound. So we don't need flipping charts.
Where is that? That's in any Richard Hart tweet. Like every 3 days he tweets that thing.
That and why not? It's just the most glorious chart.
I need to get a T-shirt with that chart. I need to get a T-shirt with that chart.
Remember when Richard said he was going to get one, and it's going to have like an extra poster board that's attached to the T-shirt, or he'll get someone to walk around with him and carry the extra board that shows the HEX chart going up off to the moon.
So what's a T-share currently cost at the moment? Let's have a look at that.
Oh, bro. I don't even want to look. I'm going to cry for the amount of liquid HEX I've got.
It's got to be about $3,000 US or something, hey?
Oh, man.
Graphics has I think Graphics has that, doesn't it? Yeah.
That is painful to hear.
Oh, have we just flipped, guys? Have we just flipped gold? Did T-shirts just flip gold per ounce?
No way. No way. No way.
Can someone look that up? What is?
Are you being serious?
It'd be more than that. Gold's like 1,800, I think, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, I think we just flipped.
Sorry. You mean price? I thought you meant in cap.
Now we've got a
one day as to be in the future, I want to be on there when we were like, remember when Day 43 said that? And Tangent thought that it was the cap. Now it's the cap. T-shares just flipped gold.
T-shares,
gold runs at 1,800 US an ounce. So a T-share.
So we had already flipped gold.
Yeah, we'd already flipped that, and a T-share is now nearly $2,000 US.
Just under $2,000 US. One T-share is just that's unbelievable. I'm just
So we were able to get those for 60 cents.
Oh, we're so close to flipping Tether. We're only a 4x away from ETH.
Crazy times.
That could be quick. That could be real quick.
Happen. I see this happening.
Yeah. So Richard Hart's going to have to go live soon, hey? He'll probably go in the middle of the night.
Is he still not live?
Well, we've still got viewers, so I'd assume not.
Yeah. No, he's coming on.
We will know immediately when he goes live, because we'll drop from where we are down to like 3, and that will just be us 3 watching ourselves.
Is there anyone that's on Discourse Syndicate after us that we need to leave for, or?
Yeah, there's Wake Up HEX is on in about 45 minutes, so we're fine. We're good.
That's cool. That's cool.
We flipped it. We flipped it.
Oh,
yeah, an all-time high and a flipping.
Oh man, why did I not bring champagne bottles up here? God damn it!
Yeah, man, 11 cents.
Oh dude,
man, this is unbelievable.
Yeah,
this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wait, Twitter must be going, like, HEX Twitter must just be going nuts at the moment.
They'll be having fun rubbing that into everyone. All right. So,
Motley investors like 10-cent HEX. Time to light those candles, Richard. Where the fuck is Richard Hart?
He's probably asleep.
Yeah.
He's probably asleep. Or maybe he's working hard. Head down, bum up.
Well, wherever he is, I hope he's got an alibi, because otherwise there's going to be haters accusing him of doing this pump. I mean, look, for him, this is actually not that big a pump. Like, as in in terms of what he would be capable of pumping the price, this is not that big a deal, right?
I don't know, man. Feels like a pretty big deal to me right now.
Well, it's a big deal to me.
Like today we were like 8.5 cents, and now we're like 11 cents. We've we've pumped 1.5 cents, and just think about like we've pumped 1.5 cents in a day, right? And not even in a few hours. Just in a few hours, we've pumped 1.5 cents.
It's huge.
And then the first year of HEX, I think the most we did was what was it? The most we did was 1 cent in the first year, or 1.5 cents.
Wait, legit. There were people in the chats earlier today being like, I'm too late. I feel like I'm too late, even though that's not a feeling. It seems to me that I'm too late. Or am I too late? All of this sort of shit. Bro, like literally hours later proves that they were not too late. They were actually fine. They could have just got in and got on this train. But they didn't. Well, some of them did, some of them didn't.
Crazy, man. It's crazy. We are witnessing this is history.
There's a lot of people tweeting about 10-cent HEX, and it's already. Wait, your tweet. I'm like, I should be commenting. Your tweet that's old news, dude. We're at 11 cents now. You should be tweeting about the fact that we're number 3 market cap on Nomics. You guys need to keep up. Keep up.
And we're actually like, look how far we're going. Like we're 62.71. Like we're just flying past Tether. I would like to see us maintain this position.
You might want to check the chat there, my friend.
Chat?
Check the chat.
Oh, thanks, Kay.
Ooh.
Oh, whoa. Someone from New Zealand just laid it down.
Nice work, man.
Very good. Can I ask, are you the same guy who's in the Pulse chat? Always like putting
I think it
game
would be.
theory stuff?
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Dropping knowledge.
Thank you very much, mate.
Yeah,
we appreciate that.
He's got
Nice
he's
work.
dropping awesome knowledge in the Pulse chat as well. Smart guy.
Yep. Yeah, nice. I feel a little bit ill-equipped when I'm in that chat room, or the mass talk that goes on. Goes over my head half the time.
Yep.
All right.
People are getting so pumped.
I know this is.
Top 3, legit.
Like I need to go out and celebrate now. Like what time is it? It's 11:20 at night here in Melbourne. I feel like I need to go out and party. Pop a champagne bottle.
I've got I don't know if you want to bring that chart up, day 43. We can have a go at butchering our thoughts on that.
Are we allowed to put this out there?
Well, I think there's been something similar go out publicly, so I don't see why not.
I'm just being extra careful after.
Now I understand. No, well, this is this is unofficial, and I'm pretty sure there's another chart out there that was posted. Let me just check before we put it up.
Just let it be known that this is Jexa. This is
yeah, so public. Yep. So there's something that has gone out that is similar. So I think we're good to go.
Hey, can I just read out this tweet quickly?
We actually, in terms on Nomics, our transparent volume is at 40%. It's actually higher than Ethereum or Bitcoin.
Yep. Go for it, Tangent.
So this is from someone that's Luke Hex. I can't see their actual handle. 2 things are happening right now: a historic moment for HEX and business as usual for HEX. that is such a good tweet that just sums up the both sides of this, that we're fully pumped, but it's just like expected. It's just business as usual.
We all knew
green candles, just waves of green candles.
Thank you, Cosmin Vaduva. We appreciate your contribution. Yeah, look, that website that you're talking about does not seem to list everything. So we use Nomics, and they tend to list everything. That's why we use it. So maybe you should go talk to them.
All right. So this chart here sort of depicts how the volume multiplier may work in the sack phase.
Oh, that's Kyle's.
Yeah. And I thought it was a pretty good way of explaining it. So there's going to be a competition for what? No, well, I think it. Yeah, I don't know. I think it worked for me. So I think people's brains work differently. This one worked for me. So with across the sack phase, there's going to be competition for. Well, we want to see competition for big players come in and fight it out for who can take the top spot, and for doing so, for putting more volume into the sack phase, they will get a bigger volume amplifier, which looks like this chart at the bottom. So maxes out at 2.5x and goes down down to, I think, if you, in theory, you could put in something, get almost zero multiplier. Would that be, or like one would be your multiplier, so you wouldn't get a bonus. So the way it works is over each day of the sacrifice phase, these individuals, so these colors represent each individual, they will sacrifice different amounts over each day, and then that will be cumulative. So this smaller one they done on day one sits here, day two amount, and so forth. So it stacks them all together. And what we can see is that whilst the green guy didn't always put in the most each day, over the course of the whole sacrifice phase, he did actually put in the most volume.
Wait, Jexa, I think this might be all the same person, and that the different colored bars are different assets. And this might be answering my question, my questions from before.
No, definitely not.
No?
Confirmed by Kyle.
But it says user sack credits total.
Yeah, so this is one user. This is another user.
Okay.
Yep.
When you say Kyle, is that the guy who made this chart?
Yeah. Yep.
But
so
then why do the bars all add together in that last chart if it's not the same person?
I'll get to that.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, that's cool. No, it's good done. It's good that you're pointing that out. So what we've got is 4 individuals or 4 addresses, however you want to view it. So they've sacrificed whatever, and it's added up to this total amount, and that has made that person the top tier sacrificer. So they sit. Oops, hang on. How did that go? All right, let's just jumped away on me. There we go. Back again. So therefore, they've got pole positions. They get the maximum multiplying effect, and it's done. It was quite weird. They used the terminology. It was done on a coin per coin basis. So they won't get 2.5x for everything they've sacrificed. It will sort of slide down until the next biggest person kicks in, and then they will continue to slide down and get a reducing multiplier. So this is designed to get whales to fight it out and try and get that top position so that they can get the biggest multiplier. Hopefully I've got that reasonably correct there. This is all fresh information to me, so I've been trying to absorb all this over the last few hours today. Does that sound pretty reasonable, that explanation? Yep, that's what we all understand so far. And obviously this will be a sliding scale all the way down. So these are obviously showing the larger wallets, but this will slide down right down to the very last person that sacrifices. So there'll be this could represent the biggest whales up here and the very small entrants down here. Yep. That's all I had.
Yep. Interesting. I'm looking forward to the official release of all the information. Just to, we're going to need I feel like we're going to need like a day at least to read through it and understand and let it let it sink
percolate.
in.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty much tomorrow and the next day. That may be all you have. Yeah. Now, I don't think there's going to be. It would be nice to have graphs that show all the leaderboards and things like that. I don't think, unless someone in the community can put that together, I don't think we're going to have that information from what I can gather. You will be able to see. You'll be able to go to the sacrifice addresses, I believe, and view which address is in the lead using a block explorer or something, is my understanding. But it won't be presented in a nice.
Richard's
nice
doing a
graphs
live stream
and
with someone pretty soon, isn't he? Isn't he
Uh,
booked in with like the last gent? He was
Yeah,
on a
same.
panel.
Yeah,
That
Yep.
same gent, he's doing a one-on-one with him, isn't he? At some stage
correct.
soon.
Yeah, yep. I think that must be this week, maybe. I think he said when they done it last week, they said it was going to be the following week.
That'll be good. That'll be good.
Hmm.
Because I'm sure that all this info will be out by then, and then he'll hopefully get the chance to go through it.
Yeah. There's a lot of just snippets of information that are coming out. It will all get put up on the main site so you can digest it. But I'm sure there's still going to be a lot of queries and questions that come out of it, because there's a fair bit to digest in a couple of days. So any OGs or anyone that's active in the community, if you can digest that and then jump in the chats and help as many people out as you can, because there's going to be a lot of people with a lot of questions, I think.
Looks like we got flipped back by Tether. But we got to 3. We got there.
I think we should pour one out for the homies, for anyone who ever emergency end staked and just absolutely smoked their entire. Because I was just thinking, what would be more painful than not having bought HEX would be having bought it, smoking it all in an emergency end stake, and then looking at what the HEX that you actually did own would now be worth if you had just either maintained your stake or kept it liquid. That would probably be. And you remember in the early days there were a lot of emergency end stakes where people were just smoking like millions of HEX in a single end stake.
There's a video of a guy doing that and like doing a demonstration deliberately, like and smoking.
That's a baller move. That's a baller move. That's like lighting cigars with dollar bills and shit, $100 bills.
I don't know why he did it, but he just burnt like millions of HEX. Just this was in the early days when millions of HEX did not seem like a lot.
Yeah. It would have only been like, I don't know, a few grand or something like.
Maybe not even, man. Maybe not even a few. Like I don't know. But this guy
he must be regretting that now.
Oh,
I remember when CZ tweeted out that he was doing like a BNB coin burn that was worth, I don't know, I think it was maybe hundreds of millions of dollars or something like that. I don't know if you guys remember. And Don Vase just commented on there. He's like, yeah, it's easy to burn a stack of money when you've just printed it out of thin air. With some tokens, it's actually true. There is an analogy between just, printing your own money and just pumping out as many tokens. If you've got admin keys where you can just create as many tokens as you want,
Hey, what's that clip that you show? I've been loving that clip, that song.
Me? The Snow White Lambo?
Yeah, Snow White Lambo.
Yeah. It's Little Bubble. It's by Little Bubble. They do a lot of good rap songs.
Are we allowed to play that, or do we get booted?
I reckon you get
I don't
booted.
think you get copyright striked for it but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't risk.
What have you been?
I get copyright striked on all my videos because you know how I play music. You know how I play music. So I get copyright striked in the way where usually it's the way where the video doesn't get taken down. And because I don't run ads, so it just warns you. It says this video is being copyright striked. It might not be available in all areas or something like that. Like there might be some areas where it can't be watched, something like that. But yeah, that's frequent for me because I play music in the background. And I think the way they do it, they must have some Shazam-like thing that basically just picks up whenever it recognizes a track. And pro tip for anyone who's like, if you're ever doing something like that, if you mess with the tempo slightly so that the BPM's slightly off, then sometimes those auto matching softwares don't notice that it's a track that is copyrighted. So it still sounds nearly identical to the human ear, but a computer won't recognize it because you've just made it run slightly faster or slightly slower.
People do the same thing with like when they're showing like a live pay-per-view or something, and what they'll do is they'll zoom in a little bit and have it in a little box on the side, like on the screen. So it's like sort of zooming around, so it's not the actual like copyright.
So if there's any sort of like pattern matching software, it'll trick it.
Yep.
That's smart. It's like the visual version of what I was just talking about in audio.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it. Little bubbles, Snow White.
Snow White Lambo.
Dude, I was like, there was a stream that you did tangent on your. Oh, do you want to show your channel, by the way?
Yeah, sure. Actually, it is somewhat relevant that I'm going to be not pivoting my channel, but sort of, I guess it's a pivot in a way, into doing TA on obviously HEX, Pulse, and certain PRC20 tokens by request and by the ones that I want to look at. So if anyone cares about the price action and the technical analysis of those items, then definitely come and follow my channel. It's just, I think it's HEX_tangent on YouTube.
Yeah, man, I was watching it the other day and I was really disappointed when, I don't know what happened, but you couldn't play the Snow White Lambo at the end. I was just really disappointed. I mean, I could have just played it. I think I was meant to,
and then I think I just clicked end stream instead of clicking play.
I was disappointed. Like, it's weird, man, because I could have just gone to YouTube and played it myself, but I was just disappointed that you didn't play it.
Yeah, I've been using it as my outro so that people have an opportunity to just ask last-minute questions or comments or anything like that, or if I think of something that I wanted to cover in the stream that I didn't, so I just play that song and dick around for a few minutes until then, and then if no one has commented and if I haven't think, then I end the stream.
Mate, on the stream you did just a few hours ago, when you brought up the ETH HEX price, your reaction was just priceless because it had just pumped like no one's business, man. And you were just like
just wide-eyed, jaw dropped. Yeah.
Brilliant, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and compared to the chart now, that was a mini pump. That was just the pre-pump.
Yeah,
looking pretty healthy. Hey,
we can't play videos on this, can we? We can't play YouTube videos on this.
Say again.
Don't see why you couldn't. Don't know. You're the man with all the controls.
I suppose Kinetics will let you know.
What I think we need to get is a HEX playlist together, not of videos, but of all the music that's been created, because there's quite a lot out there now. I started to try and collect it. So if anyone's got any links for music they know, pop it in the chat there, and I'll come back and collect them all, and we'll see if we can get a little playlist of all the HEX tunes.
There was a rapper, and I didn't have high expectations, and it was actually really good.
Is that DC Pulse or someone? Is that?
I'll try and find it. I think.
Well, there's that that guy. There's something black. Who does stuff? I've been listening to some HEX, some Pulse HEX stuff. There's a lot of musicians like starting to make stuff. Hey.
Yeah, well, there's even stuff that I'd forgotten about. Like there was someone with a ukulele, lady with a ukulele.
Yeah, she was
right
really
at the beginning. Really early on.
I like that DJ Cryptomatic. I think it is DJ Cryptomatic.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
He's really good. Obviously, there's not a lot of Hex lyrics in it, but it's he I think his stream says music to stake to or something like that. I thought it was great.
Yep, 10,000 X song. Yeah, we've got that one. Freddie quotes.
All the songified ones of Richard Hart's streams, like the like dance money and like the 1000X song and stuff like that.
Yep.
They are epic.
So
Do you guys hear this? Do you hear anything?
No.
No.
Think
You might have to share your. If you go into on Restream, yeah.
Yeah, Black Hexagon, guys. Like, he's at just being black, but the C and the K are turned around.
Here we go. So we're just been told Joker's working on putting it on an album. Cool. I don't have to do it then. Someone's onto it.
Did you guys hear that shit about someone or some, like a few people were saying that the use of the term hexagon is racist? And we just absolutely slammed them. And there were hex enthusiasts that were actually Mexican in the thread being like, I'm Mexican and I think this is fine, so shut the fuck up. It was awesome.
People get so precious over shit like that, don't they?
Oh, it's so dumb. People reach so hard. They reach so hard to try and do virtue signaling and social justice worrying. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Yeah.
That was who I was thinking. Pulse Lord was the other one I was thinking of.
Pulse Lord.
Oh yeah, Pulse Lord's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I've been watching his
that's awesome.
TA. He's a nice guy.
Go subscribe to Pulse Lord's channel. He's a pretty talented guy with the music, and also he's putting out some good charts and stuff on Hex. So check him out.
Hey, we went over on Uniswap.vision. We hit 11 cents.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely. Yep. Up to
11.1. 11.1.
Yep.
Crazy. 11.1.
And the chart's still looking good.
Yeah.
Still bullish. Still bullish.
So you would like to think after a blast off like that, you would look. We may. I don't know if we'll come back and retest that during the sack phase, but it would be technically reasonable to come back and sit on 9.8 and hold that as support, and that would be hopefully your new base. But look, like I said, all the brakes are off. There's some pretty big fundamental things going on, so we may not come back to that level even. Who knows? Who knows? Not for a while anyway. So.
On the daily chart, we've got 3.8 million in volume.
Yep.
Massive.
So what we have noticed in the Pulse chat, that I thought that sort of peaked out a little bit, the new numbers of people joining in the Pulse chat, but that had another big lift off over the last couple of days as well. And that's the numbers we're getting in those chats are just fantastic. And I think what I also noticed off the back of that was there was a few people flow across into the Hex chat as well. So it's good that we're getting that visibility from the Pulse side of things, and it is flowing across into Hex. So it is really good for the Hex adoption side of things. I think people get in the chats, and Pulse chat in particular is a real blend. Like we're talking about what's going on PulseChain, obviously very Hexagon influence there, and
well,
people
Pulse has
actually
more
really
members than Hex now.
Yeah, no, it has. It's been ripping. But I think people actually get an introduction to the HEX community via the Pulse chat, and they understand that, hey, everything they've probably been hearing from all their influencers is probably not true, and we're a pretty good bunch, and we're pretty helpful, and there's some very smart guys in the chats as well. So I think that people realise that once they come and speak to a few of us, they realise that maybe it's not true what they've been hearing. So that is a good flow on and a good kick on effect to the Hex growth as well.
Yeah, 23.8k members and almost 3,000 of them online in the Pulse chat. It's pretty hectic.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, and I know Hex at the very beginning the HEX room did get invaded with a lot of bounty hunters and things like that. But I think over time they've been flushed out and they've left the room, and the numbers sort of held steady there for a while. But I've really noticed that uptick as well. So that's
I jumped on the voice chat on Pulse today, and there was over 300 people in the voice chat.
Yeah, but it's not
300 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not, you would think it'd be a whole lot of yelling and screaming, but everyone's pretty happy
Papa
to sit
B,
there and
man,
listen.
he was taming that shit. He was just like ordering it.
I think you know, like too hectic.
He was doing a great job, and just making sure people he'd answer the simple questions and make sure people get a chance to ask questions and stuff like that. And he was awesome.
What did you guys think or hear about there being no referrals for Pulse? Either your opinions, attitudes, or
I think it's
reasons
great. I actually think it's good not to have it. It just gets rid of any bullshit where anyone can point a finger and accuse people of promoting it to pump their own bags and things like that. So it's
so genuine, you would only tell someone genuinely, not to try and gain more financial incentive.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I don't have anything against that. That's a perfectly valid marketing tool, but for some reason people get a stick up their ass in crypto. No, you don't.
We've got an army of people who want to spend the work.
And just on that note about engaging our community, and one comment that Richard made, which I thought was good to see, is someone asked him, so now that we know Pulse is ready to get going, is the best thing we can do, should we go out and start reaching out to all the other communities and telling them what's going on, letting them know about Pulse and speaking to other teams? So the question was, should we do that, or do you want us to hold off? And Richard was like, no, go ahead, have at it. Start reaching out to as many communities as you can. Just getting in there and at least letting them know what's going on. So if everyone can just take a little bit of time out of their day, if they're on, if they're following certain things on Twitter or in Telegram groups, or go and actively seek out a few projects that you think would benefit from Pulse.
You want to hear what I would suggest as the easiest pitch that's unlikely to get you banned out of the group? Would literally just to be say, your coins are about to get mirrored on another EVM compatible chain.
Yep.
You have to double your bags.
It's relevant to their project, so you can't get booted for saying something that's where you're shilling another project or whatever. And everyone loves free coins. So it's easy.
Also, emailing people. Writing an actual email to somebody. Like if you find somebody on an influencer on YouTube or whatever, find out how to email them and just email them. Often that's even a better way than just a comment or whatever.
I was going to say, that's old school now, but we've seen someone posted where they'd received a HEX letter in the mail. So the old snail mail came delivered. It was a nice black envelope, HEX logo up in the top corner, 2 or 3 pages in there explaining what HEX was, and this is getting dropped by traditional mail. So cool to see. Yeah, but take a bit of time out of your day. Do your bit for the community. Reach out to a few groups. Depends how divisive you want to be. Like Tangent said, you can go in and just say your coins are about to get duplicated, or you could say our coins are about to get duplicated if you want to sort of go in there.
Nice.
And say
I like that adjustment. It's definitely an insider comment. You're absolutely right. You're right.
So just everyone can just spend 5 minutes and do that, and let the broader crypto know. That would be good for Pulse, I would think.
Hey, shout out to Retrostatic for the donation, the £4.99 donation. We really appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, and that letter writing and stuff, like that actually stands out because it's so rare to get something like that nowadays. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of come full circle.
And it's a different market you're attacking there as well.
Yeah.
So if you've got older people that are sort of more in tune with longer term time horizons and term deposits or CDs, whichever country you're in, how you call them. But those guys that are more likely to go pick up the mail and read that, you might be hitting a different demographic. And I can tell you now, we know a lot of people personally that are 55, 60 plus that are on board. They love it. They just get it. They're planning for the future. They understand.
And often it takes like 3 points of contact to get somebody to actually go and look into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, they hear about someone says something about it. They see it online somewhere and they get a letter and they're going, well, okay, now what the fuck is this thing? And that's when they go and suss it out or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right, so it's going to be a pretty exciting rest of the week, I can imagine. Not much sleep will be had by all the Hexicans. They'll be watching closely to see what plays out over the next week with the sacrifice phase starting, and a lot of information you're going to get on board beforehand. So yeah, exciting times. And I'm pretty sure. I think we're probably going to have to wind it up pretty soon because I believe Wake Up Hex is starting in about 10 minutes. So if you guys on the Discourse Syndicate channel, want to keep watching some people, just stick around because these guys are going to start pretty much straight away after us. And look, I just want to say thanks to Yoden as well, mate. We appreciate you. We actually used to use Yoden's videos that he'd put together as our intro when we were all streaming on our channel before we came over to Discourse Syndicate. But thank you very much for those that $20. Very much appreciated.
The Wake Up Hex guys actually just offered if any of us want to jump on to their stream.
Sorry, awesome. What was that?
The Wake Up Hex guys. The guys who are after us on this channel asked, he said, do any of us want to join onto and roll onto their stream? I probably won't because we've been going for over 2 hours. 2 hours. But I thought that offer was very nice from Peter Danis.
Yeah. Maybe go to sleep.
I might say g'day. I think it would be nice for us to jump on and say g'day for a couple of minutes.
I'll just go celebrate with my kids for a couple of minutes and then I'll come back on if we can get the links.
All right, you know what? Okay, all right. I'm going to go and see if I can find a bottle of champagne.
Me too. Me too.
We can pop on their stream and then do that. We'll do that.
Yeah. No, that sounds good.
Cool.
Right,
I think we
Peter,
should. This is time to celebrate. Hey?
Day 43, then he'll hit us up in the chat and we'll come on with bottles, popping bottles.
Yep. Sounds good. Hit me up. Who were you speaking to? Peter, did you say?
He's using it, Peter Danis 87.
Cool.
I mean, I assume his comment says you people want to join the Wake Up Hex. I'm assuming by people he means us.
Yeah,
and I'm assuming. And I'm assuming
you might have just self-invited yourself on there.
Crashing.
Can you imagine? Kinetics is just there. No.
Bloody Aussies.
They've already been on for 2 hours and 20 minutes. Get them off.
Yeah, actually, now the more I read this, I think it might have just been a random comment from someone in the comments. Nice. And not a person of authority on the next stream.
So, no, I've got to say, Peter is a Wake Up Hex guy.
Oh, he is. All right, cool.
He definitely is a Wake Up Hex guy.
Oh, okay, sick. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. We won't crash their shit for too long. We'll just say hi and then bail.
Yeah. All right, that sounds good. But we still got a couple of minutes. I think we can string it out right till the end. What are all the viewers going to do, like with the dead air for like 5 minutes? We can give them a couple of minutes to go to the loo.
I've got a quick question.
They're probably already doing that on their phones anyway.
We can do a speed round. Favorite HEX advertisement? All-time favorite HEX advertisement that you have seen?
Nerd Girl.
Nerd Girl.
You know how she did? You know how she did the? She had the top, the bikini thing, and she did all the.
Oh, I don't think I've seen it.
You haven't seen that? Oh, and hang on, my second favorite was the one that you showed me during the week, with like all those like the girl next door, like type girls.
That was gonna be my one. That was gonna be my
the music, and then halfway through it, it's just got some old dude wearing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was the one.
Wearing
all the t-shirts are pretty tasteful, and then the one that the guy's wearing says
which is big.
that production quality on that was incredible.
Hey, where can people go and see that? Where can people see that video, mate? Let's see if I can find it.
Jackson,
my favorite one. Sorry, I was asleep there.
Either of you?
Yeah, no, I reckon for where it got to, and it was one of the first ones, was the Premier League one.
The soccer on the side of the soccer. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah,
that was pretty
cool.
Someone has put Naga best hex shout out for sure. What is that? A celebrity?
Yeah, Naga Bro.
You know when he did those 3 bitches for the price of 1 or whatever, or 2 bitches for the price of 1. That was a pretty fun.
I think he was actually instrumental in probably getting a few of the XRP dudes across, I would imagine. He probably got a bit of hate from a lot of them, and he probably got a few of them that at least listened.
Who knows?
I think he was reasonably big in that community. I think he had a bit of presence in that community as well. So.
My favorite is the guy that I've played it on my stream a couple of times. It's Hex to a penny, and he took Richard's voice and sampled it to that whole song. But also there's a guy dancing, and he's a really good dancer, and it goes for quite a few minutes. That was I like that the best.
I think I know the one you're talking about, and he's got that like that wavy style dancing thing. Yeah. I've seen that. That one I've seen. That one also is really good.
Yeah,
guys, if we're going to jump on this other stream, I'm just going to bail for 5 or 10 minutes.
Cool.
So quick day to the fam, and then we'll jump back on.
All right, see you, mate.
Thanks, guys.
Tangent. Where can we find that amazing video that we're talking about?
That was the thing with that video. I think it was Crypto Kobe sent it to me on Telegram. So I actually do not know the source. So heaps of people were always asking me, like, where's that video? Where is it from? Who made it? Where's it from? Where can I get it? And I'm like, I can send it to you on Telegram, like forward you the video, but I can't. I don't know the other answers to these questions. So I've sent it to quite a few people who wanted to have it. But I don't know. I mean, when I saw the production quality, I assumed it must have been Richard Hart that made it. But yeah, so maybe Kobe can shed some more light on the situation.
So it's not a YouTube link. It's an actual video, huh?
Yeah. When he sent it to me, it was an actual video forwarded. Yep.
Yeah, I think it was. I didn't see it in the YouTube video. I just saw the video. I wonder if hang on, maybe I can play it. Oh, dude, I mean, I can play it.
He just casually dropped it into my into the chat.
Can you find it? Can you repost it in our Hex Late Show chat?
Yeah,
I've got to play this. This is so good. You guys have to see this. What's that?
Naga is still sick. He's sick with something.
I think he got the CV.
Well, yeah. Well, he got sick, I suppose, didn't he? Yeah.
I think we've got just enough time to play this, and then we're going to get like our asses booted off badly.
I'm almost there. Here it is. All right, I found it. Now I just need
we should just outro with that, hey?
Yeah, we'll outro with that.
Shit. How do I forward this shit? Oh, here we go. It is actually in share, save, forward, boom, to our group.
Go.
I'm almost there. I've just got to find our group. Come on.
That's cool. People can wait a little bit for...
Here we go. Got it.
Now,
Sending now. So so that should be the latest video, the latest message. And in fact, in that message that he sent it with, he said, lol, have a look at the shirt that the guy is repping, which is the one we were talking about. So have you got that video now, day 43?
Yep. Hang on 1 second.
Sick.
Hey, and if somebody does know who made this, let us know so that we can, credit them and
Yeah.
Guys, we have no idea. We have no idea who made this. And I actually think that this is really upsetting. I think that we're not going to have time. Am I going to have time to play it?
Let's do it.
I'm going to have time to play it.
That's cool.
I think it's only like a minute long.
No, it's not letting me do it. It's not letting me do it. Hey,
bummer. You can do links for actual vids.
Let me see if I can
load the video into it.
Hey guys, just in the interest of being like having
share my screen. Share the screen. We've got this. I'll take it from the start. That's it.
Can you guys hear music in the chat?
It's very low, if it is. That's it.
I'll see if I can get the volume up. Is that better?
Yeah. TV show.
That might actually be coming.
Guys, good night. Yeah. That was awesome. Thanks a lot, guys.
Awesome.
We're out. We are out. Thanks. See ya.